It's been a while. It's been a long time. Took a bit of a hiatus, right? But I'm gonna react into this AI artist thought he fooled the entire art community, but it ended badly. By of course Mohammed, right? Always butcher his last name, so I'm not even gonna do it, right? So I'm an artist. I'm gonna give you guys my pure, authentic reaction towards this video. I did not watch it yet, so without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, it will seem the tables have finally started turning against AI artists and other so-called artists parading fake art on the internet. And while it's not looking good at all for the likes of them, it's a perfect sign for a bright future for every real artist. So for those of you who don't know, because well, this happened fairly recently, a person who claimed to be an artist attended a convention and started selling what will seem to be AI generated art almost across their entire.
That is crazy. And all of this chat GPT, and by the way, full disclaimer, I'm going to be pausing a lot, right? That's why it's called a reaction video. So always put the original video in the description below. So if you want to just play it, from beginning to the end without any pausing, go right ahead. But you guys came here for commentary, so I'm going to give you guys commentary. So wherever I feel like I need to pause it, I pause. Anyway, pause. It's insane with the whole chat GPT and all this stuff. Like AI is getting crazy and crazy. At the same time, you starting to notice AI is starting to have its own, not even starting to, it's having its own type of look. It has this AI look, so to speak. So there's a distinction between that and actual artists who know how to make something unique. So it's just everything with AI, just copy paste. And hopefully the average viewers out there who are non-artists are able to pick that up and to not fall into the trap of fake, because artificial intelligence is fake. That's why it's called artificial. It's fake. So hopefully people out there is not going to waste their pennies, their dimes and nickels, and just overall their money on something that is not real, especially contest like I reacted before, where I can't believe it, but it took them some time to realize that, yeah, the person who submitted their artwork wasn't real, right? The artwork was fake. So let's continue this.
Catalog. But while people started coming to take a look at the pretentious art they had on display at their stand, they immediately noticed something seemed off about every single drawing the quote-unquote artist had on display. Oriana Gires, who goes by Ogart Official on Instagram and other social media
11,000.
platforms, is an artist and gallery owner with a decent sized following of over 10,000 on Instagram, where they have been sharing their art to their audience before this incident happened. As you would expect, their account is now private after this situation went viral, and people started tracing them back to their social media accounts. So now there's no way for us to see what the quote-unquote artist was posting, or if they even had anything to say about the situation. But you can still find some of their work on their website and all across the internet and every other platform. Now, according to some sources on the internet, OG Art had purchased a booth at the recent DragonCon multi-genre convention that was held through August 28th to the 1st of September. According to sources, Ogart's booth was filled with drawings, paintings, and images that looked heavily inspired by and or created using generative artificial intelligence. OG Arts themselves were not present to discuss with other artists at their booth, but they had someone there to curate their work and handle the sales and everything else regarding the booth. According to people who attended the event, the person identified themselves as OG Art's boyfriend and was apparently helping her set up her booth and handling any potential sales they would make from their quote-unquote art. People immediately started raising eyebrows about the whole setup because for some reason it sounded very conspicuous. Now apparently it seems having someone else.
This is crazy. All right, so Dragon Con, never heard of it. So apparently this guy is this artist boyfriend that's setting up the booth. In case you don't know, whenever these type of events happen holistically, you have to pay money to have your artwork or any type of products you have on display as advertisement, because usually you have a lot of people come in and they will, you get publicity, and also people will end up buying your product. So, as that being said, you have to pay for a booth. And I'm telling you this right now, in certain events, those booths are not cheap. They are very, very expensive.
Right in front of him. And the best thing about this is he made an entire video talking about the situation and spreading more awareness about it.
DragonCon is typically one of my favorite events of the year. However, they definitely had an AI issue this year as there was multiple vendors trying to get away with selling AI material and passing it off as genuine artwork. Regardless of how you feel about generative AI, it is simply against the terms and service of a lot of these art events.
This is the part that genuinely pisses me off. I mean, isn't it obvious that people going to these events are going there because they're either artists or art enthusiasts and are going there to see genuine art and or share art themselves? It just sounds stupid trying to attend a convention and then fill your whole booth with AI generated art. What even is the point of any of that?
I mean, that's the sad part about it, is AI is taking over, and unfortunately, you're gonna always have people out there who are willing to cut corners, right? Take shortcuts in order to try to make a profit, which is then cutting the legs of people who are doing it the actual way. And I know for some people, like, what does that matter? What does it matter? Well, here's a difference, right? Let me give you a perfect analogy. If you, even though you're not an artist, right? For those non-artists out there, imagine you. Let's say you're a gamer, right? You play video games, right? And you take pride in knowing that you completed the game. And the game, you went through that adversity from the beginning all the way to the end, right? There was times where you have lost, you have to respawn, you have to restart, right? You missed your checkpoint, your save checkpoint. But regardless, you have leveled up to the point where you are God mode, right? So it wasn't easy going through that adversity, and you know more about the game because you went through the challenges, right? In order to succeed in the end and leveling up. So imagine AI, right? AI version. Someone just come in, right? Once they start the game, they plug in all of the cheat codes, So instead of you taking days, if not weeks, to complete the game, especially RPG games, it will take months, right? Because you love the adversity, you love going through the trial and error. Well, this person, before starting, they put in all of the cheat codes and they beat the game within an hour. Now, because that person did that, did they really connect with the game? No, it was easy. They don't know the logistics of the game. They just went straight into it with cheating in order to succeed. That's the difference. And even gamers feel a certain way when someone plays the game on very, very easy while they play it on extremely hard or very difficult, right? Hard mode versus easy mode. You get the real essence of the game when you go through the trial and error, and you appreciate it more through the trial and error. When you're having a mentality of cheating in order to succeed, then it's not real, because life is not about just cheating and not understanding something in order to just get instant gratification. That's the biggest tension between art that's real and AI that's prompted. So if you guys agree or disagree, let me know. Just put it in the comment section down below.
And for good reason. Collectors and general attendees go to these events thinking that the halls are vetted and that the work is done by professional artists. And this often will give an increased value of the thing you are purchasing. This will become even more important when we talk about James, who didn't end up getting removed from the hall, but we're going to focus on this bozo for the moment. Now, for context, DragonCon has 3 different halls where you can buy different types of merchandise. The art show, which caters more to traditional and original art, which is where my booth was at. Then there is the normal exhibitor vendor hall, which is like official merchandise and stuff like that, more of the non-artist area.
I've always wondered, can you get in trouble for selling merchandise or fan art of popular characters you don't own rights to? Or does it all just fall under fan art and is legal? Please let me.
That's a very good question. It really, in a lot of cases, it just depends on your popularity. Let's put it that way. Like, let's say, for example, I am selling my own fan art of Dragon Ball Z. and I'm selling the t-shirt, right? T-shirts of my designs, but it's an existing popular IP, intellectual property. I technically can get away with it if I am not as popular. So if I'm just getting a couple of thousands of dollars and no one is complaining about this on the internet, I can get away with it. However, if I'm making millions, right, with an M, millions of dollars, that's when the companies of I don't know, Toriyama. I don't know the actual logistics of the company behind Dragon Ball Z, right? But any of those, they will reach out to me and they will try to sue me, right? And that's how it works. So if you're small, you literally could get away with it. Think of it like you downloading illegal music. You're pirating, right? You can't get caught unless you are advertising and telling people and your video goes viral of ways to get free music content or content that you're not supposed to have, but you're advertising it to everybody in the world. That's when you will get in trouble. So it's just a weird way. They don't know because you're not relevant to them. When you become relevant, you're doing something of taking their belongings. That's when they will take legal action. So let me know what you guys think about that down below.
Let me know in the comments, because I've always wondered.
Every year, from Friday to Monday. I'm going to break down the timeline of events because I think it's important for the context here, but there's a lot of conflicting.
Like I said, these
information
booths
going
are
around,
expensive.
And although I was at the event, I was
Expensive,
not
man.
in the room that this took place the entire time. From the staff and artists that I talked to, including
the setup,
my own
too.
personal experience
A lot of
at
work.
the event, I'm not sure when attendees and artists started noticing that something wasn't quite on the up and up with this booth, but from what I was told by staff, they were notified on Saturday evening towards the end of the day, right before the hall was about to close.
Wow.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet based.
Get out of here.
The person could have possibly made some sales already and even got away with it before people started to realize what was going on. Or maybe people had already started to notice but weren't exactly sure their art was AI, which is why they most likely held off reporting them just so they could get more evidence and make sure that all the accusations were backed up.
And confronted those in question. Now, if you look at the floor plan for the Pop Artist Alley, the artist that is listed goes by the name Oriana. Now, looking at this booth, Oriana is nowhere to be found. As this was all taking place, people were able to notice on their story in their Instagram that they were in Europe and not present at the event.
I don't know if it's just
Oh, so the guy is a poser. He pretended to be the boyfriend to this actual artist, and he set up a booth, and he's saying like, yeah, I'm the boyfriend. This is her work. You know, if you want it, you know, I'm selling it for this and that. That's scummy work. That's scummy work. It's unfortunate. A lot of companies will do that. And there's a lot of small companies. I'm saying companies because it's not just individuals that will cheat their way in the system in order to make a profit. There's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of charlatans out there that will pretend to be something that they're not.
That's me, but something about that Batman painting in the background just screams AI. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it just looks like an
AI has a look. Like I said, there's something about it. It looks put together, but then at the same time, there's something missing because it's not real, right? It's not real.
AI generated image, especially because out of
Move this
almost
right
all
here.
the other drawings in the booth,
There we
it
go.
just sticks out like a sore thumb. The art style seems to be way different compared to the rest, and judging from the art I saw on her websites, this looks quite different from all the art she has there. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too nitpicky.
No, that's not being nitpicky. I definitely agree. There's something about us artists that we have a style. Even if you could switch your style, there's still something about our signature that you can just like, even people who are non-artists, if they see your catalog, they can just tell whether I draw, even for me, for example, whether I draw traditional or digital, either way, you can tell by my signature, like, oh yeah, this guy made this. Yeah, this is real. But with AI, AI don't really have there's something about AI that throws it off. It's like looking at something that's visual effects, right? And they're trying to make it look photorealistic, and your eyes can just tell, like, nah, something's uncanny, something's just not real, something's throwing it off. So that's the same thing in what he's talking about here.
Table said that he was Oriana's boyfriend and that half the work was his, and that's why the styles were different.
What? This is just getting better.
He's a
and better
poser
by the minute. So the drawings that look different are his. That much we can understand. So allegedly, he's the one making all the AI art and trying to sell it by mixing it in with actual artist work. Is Oriana even aware of this? Does she know her boyfriend is trying to use her art to market AI generated?
My question is, number one, is that her actual boyfriend, right? And then number two, when it comes down to these events, do they actually do a screening, like a light screening, like a quick background check of the people who are coming in? Because reputation is more valuable than money. So this is not just a hit on this guy who's a poser, but also the whole entire event. Because they got a question like, wait a minute, how did you let this non-artist advertise his work onto, not only advertise work, but to sell his product that's not his, that's AI generated, to the masses? That to me is charlatan and is very irresponsible for the event not to do a light screening. It's the same thing when I said about the whole reaction video that I gave in terms of the art contest. You have to do a light screening so that way you can protect your reputation in case something like this happens.
Narrated images, and if she knows about this, how is she cool with it and condones the use of AI to make art and even selling it alongside her own art since she's an actual artist? These questions desperately need answering.
And when pressed further, he said it was actually a gallery collective, that Oriana's father and mother had also been artists, and that's why every piece had no cohesiveness.
Yeah, he's making anything up. Like, now, it would be quite interesting if he is legit her boyfriend, but it will be very funny if that's not the case. Like, this guy, I don't know this guy. He's pretending to be my BF, where she's not. Like, that is funny. Hopefully, we'll get the answers later on in this video.
Not to be disrespectful, but I'm calling bluff for this one. I mean, not saying it can't be true or anything like that, but the way everything just lines up conveniently sounds a little too good to be true. It sounds like making up reasons so you can find a way to slip in fake art without people just questioning what you're doing and avoiding all suspicion because, well, all the drawings are not made by the same person, so obviously you can't expect them to all look similar. Duh.
And Oriana's Instagram does say that she's a gallery owner. When looking at her website, you can find some of these obvious AI images alongside
Oh, so she's not an artist as well. She's a gallery owner, right? But she really is a gallery owner, but to showcase all his diverse different styles of art, it's not hers either. So now it's like, where's the truth? Where's the authenticity with anything? Is there any ounce of authenticity? Is she an artist? Clearly, this boyfriend guy is not, right? And then also, when it comes down to these events, are you able to advertise somebody's artwork if they're not there? Shouldn't it be mandatory that whoever is the artist who produced these products of artwork, shouldn't they be present? That's a red flag. You shouldn't allow people to bring someone else's work of art if they're not there.
Actual original work.
Now, this is funny because when I went through her website, I didn't find this particular image, and most of the drawings I saw all seemed to look like genuine drawings that could have been made by Oriana herself. The paintings had some human mistakes or what could be called quirks that you can find in regular human art, and for the most part felt really normal to me and could pass as genuine art made by a human. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to give Oriana the benefit of doubt here by saying these drawings could have been made by her actually.
When artists at the event did a little bit more digging, they were able to find the man running the booth's personal personal Instagram alongside multiple gallery Instagrams and websites. It appeared that they had been doing this bait and switch for quite a while to avoid controversy.
Wow, that is so shady. I can only...
And the guy went the extra mile of a charlatan by paying for the booths. He paid for the booths. He printed out all this AI artworks, which is AI artwork, AI pieces, and framed them and set it up and be like, "Hey, man, I'm an artist, you know." I mean, hey, this is like some white collar crime right here. This is not some blue collar or low end crime. This is white collar crime. Still, that's effort. You're so much of a charlatan that you went the extra mile pretending you're an artist by getting the booth, paying for the booth, setting it all up. All fake. It's crazy.
Can you imagine how many people they must have deceived into thinking this was their own actual art, and the other drawings and paintings were made by either her parents or her boyfriend, and they were just selling everything off as prints? I'm still so confused how an actual artist really agreed to partake in this. This is just a blatant scam every way you want to look at it. They're just swindling people and taking their money, and then switching to a new account and gallery and repeating the entire process all over again, so people won't even be able to track them down when they realize they have been duped from what looks to be just mindless con artists. This is so unfortunate.
All of which filled with images that, when put through an AI detector, came back in the 90th percentile of likelihood. However, when pressed about their inspiration, they got very defensive and combative with attendees. At the end of the day, people have eyes and could clearly tell that the images at this booth were generated through some type of AI application, which again is one that...
What if you were prepared for all those interviews?
What do you prepare from all these years inspiration?
Non-artists might not catch right away, but one that anybody who has actually drawn anything would understand that this doesn't prove anything, considering some AI models have been designed to mimic process videos.
And that's what's so scummy about all of this, man. Like, they literally, because before, I think I made a video about this, like, oh, at least like actual artists can show step by step process. But guess what? Even AI is mimicking that. So it's like, no, it's getting to the point where it's like, there's almost no way you could really show whether or not you're authentic unless you go live. But you can probably, AI will get to that point too, where you could go live and then, you know, you could pretend that you're drawing something, but you're just like this, kick back, relax, and then have the AI just do the slow step-by-step process. And people are like, wow, you're so good. It's like, this is crazy, man. We living in weird times, people. So let me just read some of these comments. What are people saying? Let me zoom out. There we go. So, all right. So somebody said, I think Ariana is AI generated too. Her artwork is AI generated. The only sighting of her was one profile picture. She even responded in text and not a video or anything. And if the guy is okay with scamming at this level and gloating about it, I don't see him having any qualms with making up a fake female artist persona to get people to follow and support online. Oh yeah, that's starting to become a thing as well. You know, like before with this whole Twitch and thirst trapping women, you know, push up bras or whatever, and getting so many views and on their live streams on Twitch. Now with AI, there are men who are out there using ChatGPT or whatever AI source they're using to pretend to be an attractive thirst trap woman live streaming to get views. So it's getting crazy out here. Yeah, so I'm gonna read a few more, then I'm gonna call it. All right, so the fact that someone defend crappy AI garbage is insane. Of course, the people who are defending it are ones who are not artists, and they utilize AI as a tool and a completion to cut corners. So I'll read one more. Having an art booth at a convention requires the artist to be present. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Let me read the whole thing. I'll give my commentary. Having an art booth at a convention requires the artist to be present at the booth, if I'm not mistaken. that already should be grounds for removal. Exactly. Imagine a fashion designer design these garments and she's not there. No, you worked hard to produce those products. You will definitely be there. Like you're gonna be there. You know, that don't make any sense whatsoever. I can understand if you are a business person and you have mass produced so many things and you're a multi-millionaire, whatever. Even those cases, right? You will have a representative underneath you, but that's a whole different thing compared to an independent artist. So share your thoughts down below. Don't forget, guys, to like, share, subscribe, and throw suggestions of different videos you guys want me to react to. And they got this new thing with hype in the video. It's so many things. Like, share, subscribe, hype the video, do a backflip, do a front. This is all this crazy CTAs. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.